Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Unperfect with Alexi, the perfect place for imperfect people. And today I'm back with another question that I polled you and my audience to answer, and I am reading all of your answers today. You guys love my parenting one from last week, so if you haven't listened to that, make sure to go back and listen to it. But this question in particular that I asked, I'm very interested in because I know a lot of people in my audience are entrepreneurs as well. So I asked business owners, I said, what's the number one thing, or what's the number one lesson you've learned from running a business? And today I'm going to share that with you. But make sure to subscribe to this podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or watching on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I drop them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So without further ado, let's get into the lessons. First lesson was treat your employees well. They are an extension of you. And coming from someone who has been an employee for most of my life and being now a boss, I don't have anybody that works under me, but I work with a lot of people hand in hand. This is 100% true. If you are a good boss to your people or your collaborators or the people on your podcast or the people in your DMs asking you questions, it's going to come back tenfold. It's going to translate throughout your brand. If you are a nasty business owner, people are going to know. They're going to pay attention. Amy said, there is a lot of work behind the scenes. That is such a huge lesson, Amy. I remember thinking when I started my business that I could just start posting on social media and then I'd have a 6-figure company and I could do whatever I wanted. That is not how it goes. Especially when you're in the beginning and you're learning and you're new at it, there's so much work that goes into it, and adding in that learning curve, if you're solo, it's not for the faint of heart. It is a lot of work, and a lot of times I can understand why people don't want to go into this having your own business life, because you can't just turn it off whenever you want. Tree said, how much the society is addicted to instant gratification. Tree's lesson is how much society is addicted to instant gratification. And it is so true. If you have been a business owner in 2021, 2022, even 2020, you saw how much people consumed online courses. It was going to give you this instant gratification. You were going to be able to reach 6 figures in 2 days because now you have this one secret piece of information that you had to purchase. And it's not true. At the end of the day, the successful businesses are the people who have kept going. They're consistent. They pivot. They try new things. They fail. They learn from their mistakes and they keep going. And they bring in their community with them. Nothing is instant, you guys. Nothing. And that includes outsourcing. That's another instant gratification thing that I've seen in businesses. People want to outsource so freaking quickly. I did it. I thought it was cool to have an employee. So I told my Instagram that I hired my sister, which I did for a few hours, but I said it I have hired an employee because I'm so fabulous and successful. And if I'm being honest with you, that wasn't 100% truthful, I feel like. I hired my sister to do some contract work for me, but she wasn't my employee. Everything. We want it to be so instant, Tree. You are so right. Next person, I don't have their name, said, you don't pay yourself right away. That is a huge lesson. Oh my goodness. I think a lot of people look from the outside in thinking business owners just blow up and make a ton of money. Most of the money that business owners make goes to taxes and goes to reinvesting in the company. In the first 2-3 years of my business, I really didn't pay myself at all. I reinvested the entire amount that I made. And it's just now into year 3, 2023, that I'm actually paying myself. And I'm using what I make to pay off debt. So it really doesn't feel like I'm paying myself, but whatever. But it's so true, you guys. That is a huge lesson. If you want to start a business, just know you might want to start it as a side hustle first, get the ball rolling, and then dive full in, because you may not make money in the very beginning. And that really ties into Tree's comment of instant gratification. Mariah, the lesson she learned was shit happens and managing how you react is what matters the most. And that is so true. Oh my gosh, how many times in life in general do we go for something, we try it, and then we freaking fail, and then we're like, this is the worst. The biggest takeaway that you can have when shit happens is taking the L. And when I mean the L, I mean the lesson. Don't lose. Don't look at yourself like you failed or that you're a failure, because you're not. Everything is a lesson. Everything is an experience for us to learn from. Alicia's lesson is to not own a business. Guys, I'm honestly, if you are someone who is not risk adverse, who wants that stable income that benefits the every bi-weekly paycheck, like, don't have a business. You don't have to have a business just because your friends have one. This is so true. Like, you don't have to own a business. It is hard. It's not for the faint of heart. And this is all lessons from business owners, let me remind you. Another person who I don't see their name on here, but it is confidential anyway. I'm not giving you any ads or last names, so I just feel like adding a name is more personal. But this person said that the lesson they learned is policies aren't personal, and they really aren't. If you think about it, let's say a massage therapist, for example, they have a cancellation policy because they have, let's say they work 2 days in a row and their days are fully packed and people want to get in and they can't get in because their days are packed, and then you cancel last minute and that person already has plans. Like, it's really hard to refill those spots. And you got to account for, like, this is their income. This is their livelihood. This is how they pay their bills, put their food on the table, like, take care of themselves, their loved one, their families, pay bills. Like, being an entrepreneur, this is your job. So policies are in place to help protect people so they can eat. Don't forget. Okay. Marley learned that you never clock off. And it is so true. There's going to be a never-ending to-do list in business. But one thing that I have learned, you guys, is that while the to-do list never ends, you can prioritize your time and what you accomplish each day. And honestly, I would pick 1 to 3 things that you want to accomplish each day that is realistic, and then do that. Brandy learned that investing in sales skills is the ticket to success. If you can't sell, you'll be lost and wasting money, which is so, you guys, do not invest in ads or boost your content unless you actually know what you are doing, unless your message is clear. Like, this is why organic content and just putting it out there and testing it is so important. Like, don't throw your money at ads until I would recommend not throwing your money at ads until you have like a 6-figure business. Because I personally don't believe that you need to be throwing money at ads in the very beginning of your business or until you've hit 6 figures, because most of the time you don't even know what you're doing. It's all trial and error, and you're testing it, which I guess you could make a point about testing ads and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think it's really, really important for you to do organic in the beginning and learn how to sell and have those conversations and build your network and do the people type things instead of just pushing another ad in their face. Katie learned that you have to actually do the work. And if you're a visionary, doing the work is fucking hard. That is so real. So freaking real. When you have the vision in place that you're like, I want to get here, but then you have all these little roadblocks and hurdles and you can see them so clearly. That's the unspoken truth, my friend. Jean said, time management and boundaries, baby. This is huge for business owners. Huge, 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 huge. Being able, like, to give you a real life example of right now, this podcast comes out today and I'm recording it at noon today because I did not manage my time very well and I didn't prioritize very well. And that is 100% my fault. And that's the flexibility that comes with being a business owner, but you also have to have boundaries. Boundaries. Okay. Someone else said, leave 2 days for a week for rest. And I think that is a great freaking piece of advice. You need to rest. You cannot be working 7 days a week. You are going to be burnt out. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel mind numb. Guys, you need to rest. Emery learned, save for taxes. Taxes suck. Also, keep up on doing the bookkeeping. If you don't want to learn how to do bookkeeping, hire someone to do it for you. It is worth it, because at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, you're going to be the one that's accountable. I personally have learned to set aside everything I make. I take 30% of whatever I make and put it in savings. So then when tax season comes around, I can either pay it or I can pay myself. It's just a safety net that you have to have. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed. Someone else said, everybody is replaceable, even the owner. Oh, that is a spicy lesson, and I freaking love it. Because it's true. Like, if you have a great concept and a great idea and you build this thing, but you're also the toxic thorn that has to go, like, the owner can be replaced. And we've seen it multiple times in modern history in businesses. So just remember that. Another comment that came through, another lesson that came through, more action equals more results, which is, honestly, you guys, I hate saying that this is true, but it is. It's the consistency of your actions is what brings you the results. Not just being like, oh, I'm going to open my laptop and do nothing. You know, like that is an action in itself, but it's like doing the right actions, doing the aligned actions, seeing the big picture and the vision and the goal, and then taking action to get you there. Or reverse engineering your steps from like, this is where I want to be, and then I want to go back to here. No, I said that wrong. This is the Unperfect podcast. Reverse engineering your goals. So this is your goal right here. And then you have to figure out what steps you need to take from where you are now to get to that goal. So you're reverse engineering it. But it's true. You need to take consistent action. Alexandra, the lesson she learned is open communication always. Which, you guys, communication is such a skill that not a lot of people have, evidently. So I think it is really important that we learn how to communicate better. And especially if you are managing a company or you are doing your marketing or you are being the solopreneur of all things, like learn how to communicate, learn how to be direct and kind and use your intuition, honestly. Rob said the lesson that he's learned about business owners is that, or having a business, is that it's bad for you, which I could see what he means by that because it is stressful. And stress is not good for you. All right, 2 more here. Jessica learned that having a great idea won't make your business successful. You need a plan and you need a brand strategy, which is also so true. I feel like I've said so true to everything here, but it is like having all of these ideas, like the collection of ideas and you guys contributing to this question helps so much because it's better than me just coming up with a list. Like this is you guys telling me, but it's all great concepts. Like having a great business idea doesn't mean your business is going to be successful. I have 1,000 ideas. Raise your hand if you're someone like me who has 7,000 ideas, business ideas, and you're like, oh, I want to execute all of them. Where do I start? You do need to have a strategy in place. You need to have that concept. And branding is huge. Think about Liquid Death. That's a water in a can. Right? Their slogan is murder your thirst. But when you bring Liquid Death to a party, people are like, ooh, what's that IPA? It's the branding of it. So it helps people, for example, who don't want to drink anymore, helps them not feel like they're the odd one out with their mocktail with the big letters on it. I'm into branding right now and trying to find alcohol alternatives. So welcome to my life. All right, last one. Kelsey learned that every day looks different and there are a million seasons of business. That is the perfect one to end on because it really embodies everything that entrepreneurship and business ownership is. Like, it's not that 9 to 5 that you get up and you drive to work and then you have a certain thing you do this day and then you eat lunch at this time and then you do this and that and then you clock off and go home, and that's the structure. Like, entrepreneurship is not that. I mean, it's nice because, yeah, you can work from bed and you can start later. You can take a day off when you feel like it. Or you can be working a ton in one day and be working 12 hours and feel like your eyes are going to start popping out of your head because it's burning. Like, oh my goodness. Nothing looks the same. No day looks the same. It's all different. But then she adds in that there are a million seasons of business, and it is so true. There's going to be seasons when you need to get after it and get really consistent and concise in what your aligned action you're taking is. And there's also going to be seasons where you're resting and you're like, you know what? I don't want to put out content right now. I don't really feel like marketing. I don't feel like talking to anybody. I just want to go inside, retreat, and figure out what this looks like for me. So you guys, I hope you loved this episode. If you want more episodes like this, please, please, please let me know, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the type of content you like. If any of this resonated with you, make sure to tag me on Instagram in stories so I can reshare with my audience too, and we can help this podcast reach as many business owners as it possibly can, you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. These podcasts are super fun to do, just with having like all of these different answers in here. It's really cool to be able to source you guys, have you come together and help build this community with me. So I'm just so eternally grateful. I love you guys so much. And I will see you on Thursday with the episode with Face Reality, who is the acne specialist who is now sponsoring me for the next 6 months. Am I clear skin? How exciting. Okay, I'll see you on Thursday.